हेलो
हेलो
मैडम आवाज आ रहा है?
आवाज आ रही है बराबर?
हाँ आ रही है आ रही है।
Satvika, is it loud and clear? Huh? Okay, only I can't hear you clearly.
Because I'm far.
Okay, yeah, that's better. I can hear you now. Sorry, I couldn't come over to the classroom. Haven't been too well. Maybe I'll continue like this. Okay, you just let me know if the screen is visible or not. Okay, screen is visible.
Yeah.
You can see as I go on.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Just wait. So how is it going? There was a little mix up. So I was supposed to be taking the session for sentence corrections. Deepshika ma'am has taken them. I hope it went well.
Went well.
Okay. So you did extra exercises or the ones from the book?
Actually, we complete all of the exercises in class itself. Like we do all of them.
So only the ones from the book?
Yeah.
Okay. Because those you have done earlier also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's okay. So anyway, have you gone through the worksheets that I've posted?
Completed.
Yeah. Completed?
I completed the first one. The second one is half. That's it.
Okay. So any doubts in those?
No, as of
No?
right now.
Okay. So are you appearing for JIPMAT also?
I think most probably I will be appearing.
I think you should take as many because all those are separate exams. So at least take all of them.
Yes. It has Manish sir's recommendation to just do the exam, regardless of whether you join or not, which makes sense.
Because Jammu is, I think, a little less competitive than Indore, but the course is as good. Okay. Are you able to hear me? Your video has frozen. Okay. Is your network okay over there?
Actually, it says unstable, so that is why I think I couldn't hear you.
That's what I. Okay. So today what we'll do is, Agrima is also. Hello, good morning, Agrima. Agrima, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. So I was just asking Satvika whether she had done the exercises for the sentence correction, which I had posted. Have you gone through them?
The ones that you sent yesterday, right?
Right.
Yes, ma'am. I did some of them. I didn't do all, but I went through it, and yes, I was able to do it.
Okay, so you aren't doing the entire exercise and timing yourself?
No, I think you sent two, right?
Yeah, I've sent two.
Yeah, so, I think I did the first one entirely, but the second one I didn't.
Okay. Whenever you pick up one exercise, do the whole thing and time yourself. So 10 minutes for any of the sentence correction questions, about 30 questions in 10 minutes. So that's what your speed should be.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? Because now as we move on, you'll see the other questions take longer time. So you save on the vocabulary and the sentence correction questions. So did you have any doubts in the first sheet?
No, ma'am, nothing as such.
Okay, good. Okay, I think we'll just wait a couple of minutes. The others will be joining in and then we will move on. Satvika, if you come up with any problem with the Zoom, then please check on whoever is there to help out, okay? So do you remember anything from last time what we did in the sentence completion questions? I think Agrima wasn't there, Satvika was. Yes, Satvika?
Also, ma'am, I forgot to tell you, actually on Saturday I had one of my exams, so I had to
Okay,
go
yeah.
for that.
You hadn't come on Saturday.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't able to come. It's not like
Okay.
I skipped them or something.
No, I got to know from Rahul sir that you had an exam.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. If something happens like this now, so at least you can put a message in. Okay, no, I think you can't. So it's okay. So Saturday we had done the grammar portion only. We had completed the last part. So you can go through the book anyway. If you are doing the worksheets, you would be good with it. Right? Good morning, Rahul. Rahul, are you there?
Oh, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See who else turns up. So Rahul, have you done the sentence correction worksheet?
Oh, the one you sent yesterday?
Yeah. Have you been able to do any one of them?
Yeah, I went through the fifth one. I couldn't complete the sixth one. I did the fifth one.
Okay. Okay. Any of the worksheets which I send, which I post, remember that do the entire worksheet at one go, right? Like the sentence correction ones will be 10 minutes for 30 to 35 questions, right? So time yourself, but that is important. Otherwise, we'll be, if the time was not so important, we would be doing all of them in class only. Right? So doing it yourself and timing yourself is very important because you have to improve on your timing. Good morning, Sneha.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Are you having a network problem?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Okay, Sneha, have you been able to do any one of the worksheets I posted yesterday?
Yes, ma'am, I did one.
Okay, how did it go? Any doubts? Okay, for everyone, any doubts in the worksheet so far? No? Okay, good. So you were able to complete and get the answers right? Rahul?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Did you get your answers correct?
Most of them.
So which were the types of questions you got wrong? Have you written down any? Or do you remember the types of questions you got wrong?
The sentence correction, I had doubts in some questions.
Hmm.
Like doubt as in between the options, but
Hmm.
after reading it, understanding it, and seeing the right answer, I was able to rectify them.
Okay. So that's important. So you'll always have some doubts in some questions, but it's important to be able to do them after that. So understand where you went wrong and why you went wrong. So Sneha, did you have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No?
I mean, I checked the answer, then
Hmm.
I understood.
So how many, okay, another thing, the next worksheet you do, just write down before checking the answers, how many you got correct. So you will be able to judge yourself. Okay, this is my performance. I have to improve on this. Right? So who's in the classroom? Is it Adesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Adesh, can you sit a little behind Satvika so I can see you? Move on that side. Yeah, I can see you now. So Adesh, where have you been?
Ma'am, I was before last time.
You have missed quite a few classes. I
Ma'am,
hope you have gone through whatever you missed. Hmm? So the entire sentence correction portion you've missed, and I think some of the vocabulary also. Right? So you check with Satvika later after class, so you know what you missed and you can do it. Okay? Okay. Okay, so we can begin today. So today we'll be doing sentence completion, that is a gap filling. Okay, yes. So Satvika, I think you can keep your, yeah, you can keep it on unmute so we can talk and you can respond. And I like when you respond. Okay, just a moment. I'll just share the screen first. Okay, can you see the screen, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
I've shared the screen. It's clear. Okay. So as I said, in your books, it will be sessions 11 and 12 are sentence completion sessions. And those who were there earlier in the with us through the year, they would have done all the questions. So I will be taking you through the strategies once again, right? Because after so long, you also need to know the strategies. So now, first we need to know what the sentence completion questions are, or what are the testing. So here, I hope you have worked on your vocabulary. So far, how many of you? Yes, Neha, have you been working on your vocabulary?
Ma'am, I'm like reading 5 to 10 words daily.
Okay, good. So at least you built up something. So your vocabulary will be very important because here it will be a choice of words and you have to get the right word, right? So Agrima, Rahul, can you have your videos on?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please do. Agrima, please have your video on. Thank you. Okay, so when we are talking about the sentences, we need to know the meaning of the sentences, even if we don't know the meaning of the words that are coming in. because knowing the meaning of the sentences will help you to a great extent. Okay. And here is where it's not only, okay, this word seems correct, I put it in. No. You have to analyze the context, which is very, very important. So the most important thing is the context. Yeah. So if you don't get the context right, you will not get the right word, even if you don't know the meaning of the word. So basically, just in a nutshell, when we say the general strategies, you will look at the hints or the keywords that come up, predict the best fit for the sentence. Yeah. So we will go into details about how to go about these. So predicting, like even before reading your options, it is good to figure out what can come in, what type of word, or maybe what do you think should come in. That will help you a lot. Then you have to use the context, prefixes, suffixes, and cognates. Cognates means, anybody, what's cognates? You know, root words. Remember, we had done root words. That is some words which have roots, say Greek words or maybe Latin words. Yeah, so those type of words, we should know the root word. And sometimes the suffix and prefixes are also of different languages, which help us to analyze the meaning of the word. So all words, maybe we don't expect you to know the meaning of each and every word you get, but at least these will help you to figure out. Yeah. And of course, the clue words or the key words and phrases, those you have to pick out. And connotations, that's also important. What is connotation?
The tone, whether it's in
The
a
tone.
positive
Yeah,
or
positive, negative. And of course, very important is elimination. Because you remember, you have to be very fast. And in order to be very fast, you have to quickly eliminate options which are not required. So even one word which doesn't fit in the entire option is eliminated if you have 3 to 4 blanks. Okay. Okay, so now when we say predict the best fit in the sentence, what is the first thing you have to do? Obviously, you have to read the sentence thoroughly, understand the meaning, figure out the keywords. Yeah. Now, when you have a big sentence, say maybe even 2 to 3 sentences, because IPMAT will give you 2 to 3 sentences, about 3 to 4 blanks. So it becomes a little complicated, right? So what do? Break down the sentences, do some dissection, pick out the main thoughts and the keywords, and then connect them together. Yeah. So when you have smaller sections, we can get to the essential information. So all the other things are removed, and then you connect the dots to get the relationship between each of those parts. Yeah. So the relationship between the sentences helps you to figure out which type of word, and then you can eliminate the type of words that are not required. Say you need negative words. Yeah, so you can eliminate all the options which have positive words for that particular blank. You don't even have to look at the blank at the options for the other blanks for those particular choices. And of course, the general idea or the general meaning of the sentence or sentences or the paragraph you have to get. Okay, the nature of the sentence, as I said, the tone or the mood, is it sarcastic? Is it information? Yeah, so those are important. And it should be logical. That is very, very important. So whatever words you put in, the logical meaning of the sentence should not change. Yeah. So what do you do then? After all this, you predict a word, insert into the blank, which you can put in, and then look for words which are similar to the word you have thought about. Yeah, so that makes it a lot more easier than just reading the sentence and first going into the choices and figuring out what word should come in. So you don't go to the choices first. What you do? Yes, Agrima, what will you do?
You use these rules first
Yeah,
and then
so
go to the choice.
first thing is break up the sentences. Pick out the key, pick out the crux of the matter. Yeah, what does it mean to say? What is the main idea? Do you need positive words? Do you need negative words? Yeah, think of a word which you can, it could be a word or phrase. Maybe you can't get a particular word. Maybe you get the meaning of a phrase which can fit in, right? And then you look for a word which is similar in meaning to whatever you are thinking. Got it? And of course, if you look for the synonyms, eliminate the antonyms. Sometimes they will give you synonyms and antonyms. So any word which is not similar to meaning, you can eliminate, right? Okay, let's look at an example, how to go about it. Okay, this example, what do you do? First read the sentence. Okay, so Sneha, can you read it aloud?
Crestfallen by having done poorly on the IIM mat, Akansha began to question her abilities. Her self-confidence was.
Yeah, so we need a word which will tell us what happened to her self-confidence. So if we break it up, we have the word crestfallen, done poorly, yeah, question her abilities, and then what happens to her? So if she's crestfallen, she has done poorly, what will happen to her confidence?
Destroy.
Destroyed, yeah. So it will go down. If you don't get a word destroyed, at least you know it goes down. So obviously appeased would not fit in. Appeased is opposite in the tone or meaning. Placated. Placated means become stable. Yeah, plateau, placated. Elevated, of course, doesn't go in. Destroyed is the only one that goes in. Let's look at another one. Now, read this sentence. Agrima, can you read it aloud?
Neem has dash qualities, and in many clinical trials, doctors have saved countless lives by using raw neem leaves on serious wounds.
Okay, so this is talking about neem. What qualities? So we need something which describes the qualities, right? And what type of qualities? Saved lives, right? And so if something has saved lives, that means we won't go for flavoring, inferior, doubtful, only one is remedial, right? So what did we do in these sentences? Broke it down, looked at the key words, connected the thought, and we easily get to our answers. So in IPMAT, you will not always get very difficult words. You may get some difficult words, of course, but usually even if you don't know the words, like if you have 3 blanks or so, maybe one word you don't know the meaning at all. The other 2 words you know the meaning more or less. So with the help of those words, you can get to the final choice. Okay. Now we were talking about using the context, prefix, suffix, and cognates, right? So what do you mean? Now, how do you get to that? First thing, understand the context of the sentence. That is always very important. Yeah. Now, if you get the context of the sentence, you will be able to figure out the word that comes in. So the meaning of the word will come in, right? So now the affixes of the words, that is the prefix or the suffix of the root word and the root words, if you break up a word, an unfamiliar word, if you have, break it up, figure out what is the suffix or the prefix. Yeah. Now, if you have words like beginning with an, what does that represent? Or anti. So it's a negative word, right? If you have a word beginning with in, sometimes it could be a negative word. In other cases, it could be a positive word. So you have to look at what the root word is. So you have something like multinational. Yeah. So any word that comes up with multi means like it is diversified, more than one. Now careless, anything with less, there could be other words. Lots of words come in with less. Yeah. So that would be a negative word. Benefactor. What does bene means good, benevolent, benefactor. So when you have done the, when you did the vocabulary lessons, you must have done the root words again, right? So root words and suffixes are important to help you. Say if you have, say, a word like epigram, maybe you don't know the meaning of the word epigram, but you know that gram has something to do with writing. Yeah. Say telegram, tele is, now tele means far away. Gram means writing. So telegram is, you get something in writing from far away. That's what telegram is supposed to be. Now, what is the meaning of pseudo?
False.
False. Yeah. So anything that is connected with pseudo would be a negative word again. Yeah. Maybe you don't know the meaning of the entire word, but you know pseudo, false. So it should be something negative, right? Let's look at this particular question. Now you have two sentences and two blanks over here. So no matter what, first thing you do is read the sentence, break it down. Yeah. So in my classroom, Adesh, are you there? Yeah. Okay, Adesh, can you read the sentence aloud? Loud and clear so everyone can hear. I think you have to come a little ahead.
The argument by the finance minister that high is the necessary price for high economic growth is clearly.
So whatever, we'll figure that out later. Just read the sentence and say blank.
Blank, China has been growing at close to double-digit rates for more than a decade. Inflation has been either low or been falling through most of these years.
Okay. So now we have two ideas over here. First idea is that the argument that the finance minister, by the finance minister, that high inflation is necessary, is a necessary price for high economic growth, right? So if you break down the first sentence, high inflation is necessary for high economic growth, right? Now the second sentence is an example of China. It says has been growing double-digit rates more than a decade. Inflation has either been low or falling. So now you found your keywords. Yeah. We need high inflation for high economic growth. So this is what they are talking about. High economic growth needs high inflation. So what is the relationship now between the two sentences? They're contrasting each other, right? Now, if you look at the options, the ingenious, ingenuous, disingenuous, disingenuous. Maybe we don't know the meaning of the words, or they're confusing, right? Now, when we have two blanks, we'll look at the second blank. Easy way to do it. Now, what can go into the second blank? It's a contrast. So some contrast, some word will come in which will show the contrast. Now, considering, no. Does it make sense? Would you go with considering? We don't know, right? Now, no, but we know that while can go in, though can go in, right? After all would be an additional thing that is, but not exactly. So after all would be continuing with the same idea, not contrasting the idea. Yeah. So now we look at the first set of words, that is for the first blank. Here's why we break them up. Ingenious, right? We have in and G. Now, if you look at this word, if you talk about the root word, you can relate it with genius. Yeah. Ingenious means clever. So genius would be clever, ingenious would be clever, or it could mean, it actually means resourceful. Now, ingenuous. Any word that comes to your mind when you see genuous? Rahul, any word that comes to your mind?
Something like originating or something.
Yeah, genuine. Yeah, so something like that. So ingenuous actually means genuine or knave or honest, right? Now dissentious. If you look at the word dissent, dissent means to go against. Yeah, contentious, argumentative. That is what dissent means. So dissentious would mean marked by dissension, contentious, or going against something, right? Disingenuous, we had ingenuous, ingenuous, sorry, ingenuous was this. Ingenuous means meant honest or genuine. So this is the opposite of ingenuous. We can relate the two words, right? So now can we figure out what will come in the first blank? What can we eliminate? Now we won't say the argument by the finance minister is honest, but we have a case of China where the opposite is true. Yeah, so there's something contradictory going on. So we need a negative word over here. Yeah. So first of all, we said while can work, but ingenious, would that work? It won't work, right? Now B and C we already eliminated. We don't even need to look at dissentious after that. And if you look at B, after all we eliminated, we don't need to look at the first word. But here why we went through them to explain how to go about words when you don't know the meaning, but you can break them down into the root word and the suffix and prefix and get to the meaning. Okay. So here your answer finally comes down to disingenuous and though. Then you plug it back into the sentence and see whether it makes sense. Now, if you read it with the options that we took, the argument by the finance minister that high inflation is a necessary price for economic growth is clearly disingenuous, which would mean it is insincere or not honest. Yeah. And though China has been growing at close to double-digit rates for more than a decade, inflation has been either low. So it has been growing, but inflation has been low or falling. So that makes sense, right? Okay, let's move on. We were talking about clue words. We already did something with clue words. So what did the clue words give us? First we did the keywords. Now we are coming to the clue word, that is the transition words. Now in the previous sentence, we spoke about some transition words. Well, while. What is while? It gives the relationship between the two sentences or the ideas. So that is important now. So the transition words may be conjunctions, that is connecting words, which give you a relationship between the ideas. Now it could be, it could indicate contrast, support, or cause-effect relationships, right? So any idea of what words will give you contrast? Aditya, can you hear me clearly?
In spite, despite.
In spite, despite, yeah, but, although. Now, any words you know which will give you a supporting relationship?
Due to.
Due to.
Since.
Due to would rather go into cause effect, like and, moreover, yeah, also, as well as. So something in addition to, yeah, supporting the point already made. Cause effect relationship. Satvika, any words come to you, which come to your mind for cause effect relationship?
I'm not sure.
Hmm?
I'm not sure.
Cause and effect, what do you mean? Something happens, because of that something else happens. One is the cause, the other is the effect of it. So what words would you use to show that?
I don't know.
Mom, so or because.
So, because, right, yeah. So if you have but, rather, although, however, these will be contrasting, yeah. So we while, now therefore gives you the cause effect relationship, right? And what does and give you? And gives you a supporting relationship, yeah. So we will do some of these words and how they come into the sentence and help you. So when you talk about contrasting indicators, as we had in the previous question, there were two different ideas contrasting each other. So all these words, nevertheless, even though alternatively, that also gives you that there's something else being said. Yeah, the same idea is not continued, but something contrasting to the idea. So the two ideas won't be talking about the same thing, or this, it won't be in the same line. Let's look at this one. We have, it begins with although. So immediately we know that it is a contrasting idea, right? Although the warring parties have settled a number of disputes, past experience made them dash to express optimism that talks would be a success. So although giving us the two parts of the sentence. Warring parties had settled disputes earlier. Yeah. Now, if you look at the second part, we need something in contrast to what has been said earlier. They had settled disputes, but maybe when we say dash to express optimism, that they were not ready to, or they were scared of expressing optimism. Now let's look at the options. So which one of them? Now here, what do we need? When we say they had settled disputes, but now they are maybe not optimistic. So some negative words should come in over here, right? So if you need a negative word, what will you, first thing you will do is eliminate all the positive words. Ambivalent goes, rash is a negative word, scornful is a negative word, overjoyed is a positive word.
Ambivalent means unsure, right?
Ambivalent. Yeah, ambivalent is not real. Yeah, in two minds actually. Ambivalent means in two minds. That is, you are not unsure, not sure.
So
Now,
ambivalent
here
is the answer.
would we use in two minds to express optimism? Will it go in grammatically? Ambivalent to express optimism. His thoughts were ambivalent, or actions were ambivalent, will be okay. But here grammatically that doesn't go in.
Okay.
Right? So now we have rash, we have scornful and reticent. Yeah. Now here, past experience made them reticent. So we need a noun first of all. Yeah. So parts of speech are also important when you're choosing. So would we go with rash? Does it give the sense of the sentence? It doesn't fit in, right? Eliminated rash, we eliminated it. Now we are left with scornful and reticent. What does scornful mean? It would be skeptical, right? They were skeptical to express optimism, could be. But if we look at reticent, what does reticent mean?
Not revealing one's feeling.
Yeah, or reluctant. It would rather, you can say reluctant in this case. So which one would go in better, scornful or reluctant? It says dash to express. Now if you see to express, they were scornful about the talks, then it would be okay. But when we say dash to express, we would require reticent. So we have words which are very close, but then we have to analyze what has to go in or what can go in. Yeah, the format of the sentence is also important. Yeah, so here the word although, very first word although, gave us the idea that it should be a contrasting relationship and a negative word needs to come in. Okay, when you are talking about support indicators, something that has been explained earlier and some more information is being given or further explained. Yeah, so you can have words like and, also, furthermore, likewise, in addition, for, as well as, right? So here if we see, we have and in this sentence. Her charisma was a double-edged sword. In her friends, it aroused both admiration and dash. Now we have and over here. So we need another word which gives a similar around. Now here it says it aroused both admiration and what? Now do we need a word similar to admiration? Where do we get the clue from? Double-edged sword means contrasting. When we talk about double-edged sword, it means two contrasting things coming in. So if you look at our options, we have envy, laudation, equanimity, and obstinacy. So admiration and something contrasting to admiration. So what do we eliminate? What can we eliminate over here?
Laudation.
Laudation. Obstinacy means
Not doing something. Abstain from something.
it's not really abstain from something, it is being stubborn. Right? And what would equanimity mean? Anybody? What would equanimity mean? Equanimity actually means compassion or calmness. So we don't need that also. So we are left with envy. That fits in, right? Okay. Let's look at the next sentence. At the cutting edge of research, scientists are developing new sunscreens of both dash and internal varieties. So what we have and over here, cutting edge of research, scientists are developing new sunscreens of some varieties. Yeah. Now we'll look at our options. Polar, tropical, territorial, atmospheric. what do you think should go in? And okay, first thing, what are we talking about? Sunscreens. Where do we need sunscreens? If it's sunny, right? So get that idea in, that where you would require sunscreens. So those varieties of sunscreens. So it says internal varieties and something else we require. So do we need polar sunscreens? No. Do we need territorial? Does that make sense? Territorial could be anything. It means actually physical territories. So we won't go with that. We have atmospheric and tropical. Would atmospheric make sense? Or tropical would make better sense? Agrima? Yes, Pahi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I hope you are following.
Yes.
Okay. So Pahi, what do you think? Atmospheric or tropical? Yes. Pahi, Agrima, Sneha, everyone, please have your videos on.
Atmospheric.
Atmospheric. Okay, plug it in back into the sentence and see if it makes sense. Atmospheric varieties or tropical varieties. Tropical would make more sense. It is something specific. Yeah. When you talk about sunscreen, tropical regions, sunny, I think that would go in, right? So we don't go in with D. Okay. Oh, we had another one, regional. Of course, regional is the same as territorial, doesn't fit in. Okay, let's look at these two questions.
Ma'am, 1 second. It's just that my internet is a little weak right now. That's why I turned off my video.
Okay, fine. As long as you are responding when I call.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at these two questions. The first one. Try the first one. Now here you have not only. Yeah. Now with not only, something else should come in. It showed, yeah. Not only did the exhibit clearly show the health benefits of vegetarian diet, we usually use but also coming in with not only. Here you can assume that but also should have been there. It showed how those benefits often translate into a greater sense of what?
Vitality.
Pardon?
I think it's vitality.
Vitality. Yeah, could be. So why did you, so now this is a positive thing. Health benefits, something related to health benefits could not be mendacity. What does mendacity mean? Any idea?
Important. Like
Mendacity.
oh, no, mendacity. I thought you were asking vitality.
No, vitality is something which is giving you energy. Mendacity would be rather which is not. Let's look it up.
Wouldn't it be just lying simply?
Huh? We should
Lying.
know meaning. Lying.
Lying.
Audacity.
Jhut bolna.
Audacity. That would be, I think, audacity. Just a moment. Mendacity is lying or untruthful. Right. Okay. So so we won't go with mendacity. Remorse is a negative word and contrition is also a negative word. Vitality would be the only word. Okay, now let's look at this one. Their courage is only dash. A small show of strength is enough to call their bluff.
Ostentation.
Ostentation. Their courage is only. So ostentation, do you know the meaning?
Means to put on a fake
Hmm.
identity.
Something which is fake. So fortitude, do you know the meaning of fortitude?
Strength. A good luck.
Now, ostentatious or ostentation would now okay. First, we eliminate what can be eliminated. Only exhibition will not be okay. Now, when we talk about ostentatious or ostentation, ostentatious would mean pretentious. Yeah, ostentation, something a pretentious act. Yeah, that could be an answer. Now, what is bravado?
Valor.
Huh?
Valor, valor.
Bravado is not really valor,
Showing.
it is showing false valor. Huh? So this is
Yeah,
also
yes.
something false. So in this case, we are talking about their courage. So would we use ostentatious or bravado? Bravado means to show false courage, to show that, okay, you are courageous while you really are not. So small show of strength and their courage would be related to bravado. So here, instead of ostentatious, we will go with bravado, which fits in better. Right? Okay, let's look at something else. Cause and effect indicators. Yeah. So because, thus, hence, therefore, consequently, as a result of, or as a result, if, all these would be the cause effect relation. So if we look at this sentence, it says, because the House has the votes to override a presidential veto, the president has no choice but to what? Anyone?
Compromise.
Compromise. Anybody with any other answer? Okay, object. Now, if you break down the sentence, what do we need over here? Because the House has the votes to override a presidential veto, president has no choice but to do what? To give up, right? So give up what? His presidential veto, because that is being overridden by the House. So we will not go with object. Now abstain, now compromise. Is he compromising over here? Or or do we have a better word over here?
Abstain means to not vote at all.
Yeah, abstain means to
Abstain means to keep away from. So he
Yeah.
wouldn't be now here the votes are already overriding his veto. So he will not be voting anyway. Yeah. But to abstain, no. When there is okay, now if you look at a situation, it says the president's veto is being overridden. So that means the president has no power to vote, right? So what will he do? Will he compromise or will he abdicate? Means to give up power or relinquish power, we can say.
But abdicate is used in a monarchy, right? President
It can be used related to any power also. So the president will compromise, abstain or abdicate, which is the best choice in this situation. It is abdicate, that is give up his power of veto. When we are talking about veto, it is a power that we are talking about. right? So in this case, it will not be compromise, it will be abdicate. So here what relation are we getting? We are getting because of this, because the house has the votes. So house can override his presidential veto. So what will the president do as a result of that? Yeah. Little complicated, you have to analyze. Remember, we said not only vocabulary, but also analyze. Okay, let's look at this one. Now here you do, there is no word which shows the cause effect indicator, but we can create a relationship between the two parts or the two ideas. So what's the first one? The air in the room that contains several house plants. So the air with house plants can be more what? Yeah, more dash oxygen. So something related to oxygen than a room that contains no plants. So a room that contains no plants will have what? Less oxygen. A room that has more plants, because it has more plants, it will have more oxygen. Yeah, so something with related to more oxygen. Enjoyed by? No. Exhausted? Absolutely no, it is the opposite. Obscured by?
Haziness.
Hmm?
Haziness, so it's no.
Yeah. So saturated with oxygen, can we say that? Complicated? No. Saturated is the only one. So even if you are a little confused, just eliminate the options which are not the answer. So in this case, it was easy to eliminate the answers that were not the answer. Okay. Okay. Now this we already worked on in a few of the questions. The connotation, whether it is a positive, you need a positive word or a negative word, or a neutral, whether it shows a neutral feeling. So the emotions are important. Like for example, the word thrifty. Thrifty means something that is or somebody who spends less. Cheap means something which has less value, but it is in a negative sense. So let's look at an example here. It says, because of his dash something, Max's guest felt very welcome and comfortable staying at his house for the weekend. So what makes somebody welcome and comfortable? Something positive. So we need a positive word. So immediately we would be eliminating negative words. Animosity, negative. Severity, negative. Now wittiness, does wittiness make you comfortable and welcome? Or would we go with, now determination doesn't make sense. Hospitality or wittiness, which one will go? Pahi? Will you go with hospitality or wittiness? Both are positive words. Then we look at the context. Wittiness doesn't fit into the context. Hospitality does, right? Okay. What about this one? We have a lot of words over here. Maybe we don't know the meaning of all the words, but we can figure out the meaning that we need in the sentence. So, who will tell me? Sneha? Okay, Sneha, can you come in?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, we have this sentence over here. Can you read the sentence and analyze what type of word we need?
Harshit is an opprobrious and dash speaker, equally caustic towards friend or foe, a true curmudgeon.
Curmudgeon. Yeah. So, do you know the meaning of opprobrious?
No, ma'am.
No. Can you figure out caustic? Is it a negative word or a positive word? Caustic seems to be a negative word, right? Some negative quality. Caustic would be something like he's satirical, cynical about things. Now, when you talk about caustic in terms of science, it is something which corrodes, right? Acidic, caustic. And curmudgeon, if I tell you the meanings of these words, now, okay, first thing here, now all the qualities that we are talking about are negative qualities. So here also we need a negative quality. And we are talking about a quality of a person, right? So lofty, will that go in?
I guess option B.
Lofty will be wrong. So option B, vituperative. Now unstinting means somebody, something like, unstinting is like giving
Not
to everybody.
stable.
Unstinting doesn't mean not stable. Unstinting is not stopping, or it could also mean generous or bountiful. Yeah, something which is not closed into a very, or not restricted. You may say not restricted. So this won't be your answer. Now, retiring. What does retiring mean? Somebody who is, if you talk about a quality of a person, would retiring come in as a quality?
I.
It could. If we say a person is not open too much, or he retires, or is closed within himself, yeah, that would be retiring. So the only option left is vituperative. Yeah. Now we could know the meanings of these words. Maybe we could give it a try. Now, opprobrious means offensive. Yeah, this means offensive. Sorry, not very good writing this. Yeah, caustic. As I said, it means satirical or cynical. Curmudgeon. Now you got to the answer even without knowing the meaning of these words. We just know that we need a negative word. And we eliminated those which were positive words, or which were not really giving out the meaning of what we wanted. Right? So curmudgeon means ill-tempered or stubborn. Yeah. Who is very stubborn in his ideas, fixated. That would be curmudgeon. Right? So we got the answer to this. We looked for negative words, eliminated the positive words. Okay, let's look at this one. The aspiring candidate's performance in the debate, all but, we are talking about debate, all but any hope he may have had winning the election. All but any hope means something which doesn't give us hope. Yeah. All but we have lost any hope. So what word would give us this? We need a negative word over here, right? So nullifies is negative word. Guarantees, would that be an answer? The aspiring candidate's performance in the debate. Now, if you look at the sentence also, it is a little ambiguous. Is it? Read carefully again. The aspiring candidate's performance in the debate all but dash any hope. So does it give you hope, or does it remove hope? It's a double negative, in fact. This is negative. This is negative. All but nullifies hope. Right? So we actually are hopeful. If you put all this together, it means that we have hope. It all but nullifies hope. All but So apart from nullifying hope, that is the sense we get over here. Yeah. So all but encourages any hope? No. Accentuates means makes bigger. Guarantees contains, of course, doesn't fit in. So between guarantees and nullifies, all but guarantees any hope is performance in the debate. All but guarantees that we may have a winning election speech. Now, if you say all but guarantees any hope means we don't have any hope. All but nullifies any hope means we still have hope. Aspiring candidates means he is working hard perhaps, so we will go with nullifies instead of guarantees. It could also be guarantees, but in this particular context, nullifies fits in better if you look at the context of it, right? Okay, let's look at this one. She is the most dash person I have ever met, seemingly with an endless reserve of energy. Yes, Satvika. Where's your friend gone? I can't see him. Adesh, where are you? Can you be in a position where you are visible? Okay, I can see only one of you. I can see Satvika now. Anyway, so
Ma'am, B, vivacious.
Vivacious. So what do we need over here? We say it is vivacious. What about the other people? Any other answer? Satvika, what's your answer?
I'm thinking between A and B.
Between A and B. Okay. Aditya,
Maybe I think it's B.
you think it's D or B?
B.
Okay, we have another person coming in with B. Okay, so let's break down the sentence. She is the most dash person I have ever met, seemingly with an endless reserve of energy. Right? Now, somebody who with an endless reserve of energy, we need a positive word over here. Any idea what jejun would mean? Jejun means knave. Right? Now, solicitous. What does solicitous mean? Something who is very concerned, or somebody who is very grounded, calm, and who is all out to help others. That is what the word solicitous could mean. Right? So, can we take solicitous? Okay, indolent. What does indolent mean? Is it a negative word? Now we need a positive word here. Indolent is positive or negative?
No, it means lazy.
Indolent means lazy. So it's a negative word. Eliminate. Yeah. Jejun also be eliminated. Now vivacious and impudent. Impudent means insulting. Right? Somebody who insults others. That would be impudent. Now we are left with solicitous and vivacious. Yeah, now we read the sentence which say vivacious. She is the most vivacious person I have ever met, seemingly with an endless reserve of energy. Now, if we say vivacious, it means endless reserve of energy. Now, in a sentence, when we talk about a person, it says, now here if you see seemingly comes in. So this is talking about another quality and added quality. Right? So here, do we repeat the same quality? Either if we are talking about a quality, then it should be explaining it. But here, the seemingly coming in means she also has endless reserve of energy. If we had said she is the most vivacious person I have ever met, just with an seemingly wasn't there, with an endless reserve of energy, it would have made sense. But the seemingly coming in the middle changes the purpose of the sentence a little bit. So here we will talk about another quality which is other than vivacious. Vivacious would mean endless reserve, having endless reserve of energy, but here we will go with solicitous, which is giving us an additional quality. Now, if you see the dealing with the questions is not really so simple, right? Break it down, see what the words coming in, the extra words coming in, does it change the meaning of the sentence or not? Okay. So this one, any doubt now? We have two options we could have gone with, but seemingly gives us the clue that, okay, this is one quality we are talking about. Perhaps she also has this, but what is the other quality which is more important? So this is the lesser quality, and this will be the more important quality, right? Now, after you've gone through all these, the last thing you would be doing is select, that we did. What do we do in selecting the right choice? First, look at the difference between the choices, which sometimes is subtle, could be confusing. Then we go back to the context and see which ones we can eliminate. Yeah. So you can when you are eliminating it is easier to guess which the correct one is. Okay, we already went through all these things, so we have to make sure that it makes sense. So that is very important. You have to make sure that whatever you put in makes sense. Okay. Now, you could have questions with one blank and more than one blank. Say 2, 3, 4 blanks also can come in. How to deal with that? There, the context of the passage is as a whole is very important. Yeah. So again, you would be eliminating. Now you have say 4 options, 4 words in each of the options. Will you be putting in each of the options all the 4 words and then figuring out? You'll be first figuring out the context, what type of word you need. Find out your own words, then go to the choices where even one of the words is eliminated in that particular choice, then you can eliminate the entire option, right? So that makes it a little easier. And again, another thing, all the words have to fit in the given order. So you have 4 options, maybe 4 words fitting into 4 blanks, but the word for the first blank is given in the second place, option for the third blank is given in the first place, that will not be your answer, even if the words are correct. Yeah, you have to be very careful about that. And of course, when you are dealing with the multiple blank questions, don't always begin with the first blank and move onward. Maybe you can't figure out what should go into the first blank. The second blank can give you a clue. Maybe the last blank or the fourth blank, if it is the fourth is the last one, or the third one can give you a clue. Yeah. So go through all of them simultaneously and figure out which one is giving you a clue. And then you can work backwards. So we'll do some questions now. Okay. So usually your directions will be something like this. The sentences below have words that are missing. Choose the best option from those given below to complete the sentence. That's what your directions for all the questions will be. Let's look at this one. The much hated bill sparked off a wave of public dash which could not dash by the concessions of the British announcement. So what do we have? There is a much hated bill. It's sparked of what? Sparked of something negative over here, right? Which could not be, say, that it could be a dissent or a revolt, and could not be dashed by the concessions. So something the concessions would do would be to put it down or to pacify. We need something opposite to that. Here also we need a negative word. Yeah. Now we get to the options. Now in the first blank, which ones have positive words? We eliminate. Enthusiasm. No, right? We don't even have to look at the other one. Clamor. Public clamor. What does clamor really mean?
Outrage.
Outrage, or something which is quite
Noisy.
disturbing, something disturbing. Now we won't go with curiosity, adoration, discontent, maybe, right? So we have two options left. We have eliminated three. Now we look at the second blank, which could not be dashed by the concession. What could not be? Could not be misled by the concessions or abated?
Abated.
Abated. Misled, gone. So we have just one option left. That becomes easy. Yeah. Eliminate even one word which does not fit in, and then go with the other word, whether it fits in or not. Okay, let's look at the second one. So solve this quickly. Now here you have two sentences, two blanks. We have to figure out the relationship between the two. The words seem easy. Barren, bow, barren, blow, bear, nod, bed, note. But we have to see what we require. So for as long as men have had access to mirrors, they've been fretting about their scalps going what? So it's talking about the scalps. So it could be bald, something to do with bald. So, okay, let's read the entire thing. It was a particular obsession of Julius Caesar. The wreath of laurels he wore was less a what to Roman traditions. It's talking about something to do with Roman tradition than an attempt at covering up his shiny plate. Yeah. So which are the words which don't go in?
D and D.
D and bard. Yeah. What does bard mean? Anybody?
Prohibited.
Prohibited. Yeah. So prohibited will not go in. Now we have bare and barren. Yeah. Both could fit in. Now we look at the second one. It is a bow to Roman tradition or a nod to Roman tradition. That's what we have to figure out.
Nod.
Was less a nod to Roman tradition. Now, nod would mean what?
I mean, it's a phrase. I know that. A nod to. I can't explain.
Nod
it.
means to conform with. Yeah. Bow means to submit to. It would come in that sense. Bow would actually mean to say to accept something. Yeah. Or to go down to, like bow is usually used with respect. So here are we talking about respecting a tradition, or was less it is saying less it is less nod to can go in better, right? Going in like accepting the tradition or in line with the tradition, that would be a better option. So here C will be a better option than A. Okay. Now let's look at this one. This is an actual question from the 2020 IP Mat Indore. Try solving this. Now, if you notice, as compared to the sentence correction questions, these take a little more time. And you have to be fast in your thinking so that you can eliminate options as fast as possible. So you have 3 blanks, 2 sentences.
Is it option D?
Could it be option D? Let's see. Anybody else with the answer? Agrima, Sneha, Rahul? Are you getting close to it?
Yes, ma'am, just a minute.
Okay. Sneha, are you there? Okay, Pahi,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have the answer?
Ma'am, it could be either D or A.
It could be D or A. Okay. Okay, everybody quick with your answers. Satvika? Satvika, I can't hear you.
It's D.
You think it's D? Okay. Adesh, do you have an answer?
D.
D. Okay. We have a whole lot of people with D coming in. Agrima?
Ma'am, even I think D.
You think D. Okay. So, Agrima, can you explain why you went with D?
Actually, also, I just want to add D, and I might think C even.
You think C even?
Like might be.
Okay. Now, who can explain your answer?
Ma'am, I would like to try.
Okay. Yes, Agrima, please go in.
Yeah. So out of all the 3 blanks, I believe the last is the easiest because it says that financial, assets from individuals and organizations to dash a single larger diverse profile. So by reading it, we get the idea that it's many different accounts being grouped together to form one single account.
So it making a single larger diversified portfolio. So when you are doing a portfolio, what word would go in? You are developing a portfolio. Yeah. So we can go with developing. Conceive would be when you are initiating a process. This is not about initiating a process, right? So we will not go with conceive. Develop would be right. Synthesize is very close, but not stimulate or conceive, right? So immediately we would be eliminating A and B, though diverse in the first option, first blank seems to be a good option, but not conceive. If we go with the second blank, the financial institution dash assets from individuals. What does a financial institution do when it has it is a group? So the first blank gives us the idea that it is a collective investment. Yeah. So it could be collected or group, not covered, not discount. Right? So what are we left with? We are left with B and D, but simulate. What does simulation mean? Anybody? What does simulation mean? Any guess?
To an artificial.
Yeah. So simulate means to copy or to say act as something else. So that would be simulate. Well, that is not an answer. So we have eliminated A, B, C covered also we have eliminated. The only option left is D. Now we have pool. We went with groups and developed. We didn't look at pool. Now, after you have gone with selected an answer, what do? Put the words into the blanks and quickly read the answer. So a collective investment fund, and see if it makes sense. Also known as a collective investment trust (CIT) is a group of pooled accounts held by a bank or trust company. The financial institution groups assets from individuals and organizations to develop a single larger diversified portfolio. That makes sense, right? So the main idea over here was to understand what the question, what the sentences are talking about. Next, what did you do? Eliminate words which don't give you the sense that you are looking for, and go with the answer. Plug the options back, get to your correct answer, and check whether your answer is correct rather. So here D would be yours. Okay, now here you have number 4. Can you quickly answer this? Everybody? So you need not begin with the first blank. You can work backwards from whichever blank is the easiest.
Option B.
Option B.
Option B. Okay. Anybody with any other answer other than B? I don't know if B is correct or not. Now this is also, I think, one of the papers from 2019 Indore. Pai, what's your answer? You have to be a little fast. Pai, Agrima, Sneha?
Yes, B.
B would be, or do you think something else is better?
I think C would be okay.
Yes, ma'am, C.
C. Okay, we have B, we have C. Yes, Satvika, what's your answer?
B.
B. Okay. Adesh?
I
Hmm?
think C.
You think C. Okay, we have a confusion between B and C, right? Okay, anybody who came up with C, can you explain?
Ma'am, I said C because it says one who is hardworking gets on with his job in spite of obstacles makes sense.
Okay.
Then while the one who is dishonest hardly shows any progress. Over here, I agree that querulous might be a better word, but then dishonest also makes sense.
Also
Since
makes sense.
you know you're not honest, that's why you're making excuses too. So and then the latter spends all his time gossiping about his troubles. Again, whining might be a better word, but then I feel for the first blank, assiduous isn't very apt. Like because hardworking is better for the obstacle thing. But assiduous, I'm not really sure. It means to be careful, right?
What does assiduous mean?
Diligent, as in hardworking.
It does. I thought it meant like showing great care or something.
Assiduous is hardworking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
It is similar to hardworking. So now when we come to the first thing, come to the last blank. Yeah. The latter spends all his time doing what about his troubles? Complaining. Something to do with complaining about his troubles. Yeah, that's the word that comes in. What do you do about your troubles? Somebody who is hardworking, what would the opposite of, what would the person who has some other, like one who is assiduous or hardworking gets on with his job in spite of obstacles, while the one who is dash hardly shows any progress. So here we have a negative word. Yeah, here we had a positive word. Now the negative person, that is the latter, spends all his time complaining. Yeah, that would be the sense you get here. Yeah, so which is the word closest to complaining? Is it gossiping? No. Is it speaking? No. It could be whining or crying. Now we know D is not our option. So C, what is our only option? B, not C. A and D we had already eliminated because we did not need hot-headed in the first blank. Got it? So you have to look at all the blanks, which one is the best option, which makes sense in the context. That is important. Let's look at this one. Any answer? You have to think a little. Now there are some key words over here. Okay, when you have these type of questions, look at the terms that are used. Yeah, terms which are being compared. So if I give you a clue, look at multiculturalism and tribalism.
Is it A?
Hmm?
I'm option D.
Option D.
Yes, ma'am. Option D.
D. D or B?
D for
Option D.
Dhaka.
Okay, yeah. So we have little confusion between A and D. Okay, those who came up with D, can you explain your answer? Who will explain? Yes, anyone with option D, can you explain your answer? Yes, Aditya.
War and economic distress makes sense. It can also be, it can't be growth and prosperity, so B and C are eliminated.
So in times of war or economic what? We won't go with economic growth in times of war, right? Not associated. We can go with distress.
Between ethnicities and ideologies, ideology means your thinking. Ethnicity means your race and
yeah. So your group or where you belong. So here what it is doing, it is comparing between multiculturalism and tribalism. The dash of multiculturalism means a whole lot of people or diversity, different types of people coming together, while tribalism would mean a single race of people living together, right? So what are we doing here? Multiculturalism is the opposite of tribalism. Yeah. The opposite of multiculturalism in times of war or economic distress, tribalism is what I think there should be a comma here. Tribalism it was what causes those in power to confine groups of people with different ethnicities. That will go in over here. So D is your answer. We will know antithesis doesn't work, prosperity doesn't work, growth doesn't work. Now doldrums could, but rise of multiculturalism in times of war doesn't make sense, right? So those who thought A, doldrums and ideologies could have worked, but not rise. right? Okay, let's look at the next one. This is from last year's indoor paper. It's easy, just one blank.
B.
Hmm?
B.
B. Okay, could be. What does condescendingly mean?
Looking down on other people.
Looking down on, being snobbish or scornful. So even if you look at the other words, okay, everyone else, what's your answer?
Yes,
B.
ma'am. B.
B. Sneha?
Yes, ma'am. B.
B. Pahi?
B.
Everyone thinks it's B. So this was quite easy. It said, ever since Grish won the prestigious Infosys prize, he has been behaving what? So ever since he won the prize, he may be behaving something odd, right? So behaving ambitiously doesn't work. Behaving overly, what does overly mean? Overly doesn't go with behavior. It should have something connected to it to overly what? Overly means exaggeratingly or excessively. Controversially doesn't fit in. So B is the only word, even if you don't know the meaning. Okay, let's look at this one. This is also from Indo 2022 paper.
I think it's A.
Hmm?
A.
A. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I think A goes well.
Because if you look at the first sentence, it's talking about thought provoking, thinking deeply. And the second one says further dash about the ideas and perspectives outlined by different thinkers can help us gain a better dash of the world we live in. So better understanding goes in, right? In the last one. Philosophy goes in. None of the others have philosophy. History doesn't help us to do that. And if you look at the deeply about what? Deeply about ourselves goes with philosophy, and pondering comes in automatically. So linguistic orthography, what does orthography mean? Break the verb down. Ortho plus graphy. Graphy relates to writing, right? Orthography would be the study of writing. So B, of course, A is the correct answer. Okay, now let's look at number 8. You have 3 blanks. You have although coming in. So you get some idea of where you are heading to.
A. Option A.
Option A. Okay. What about the others?
Yes, ma'am, option A.
Option A, right? So here we are talking about some people who find their way around even the technology and still do something, right? So spammers could be, or hackers, not promoters or advertisers, right? Now, every day more than 1 million promotional messages are sent that are commercial and something we don't want. Yeah, although Dash have used more technology. So governments have used, authorities, firewalls, any of them could, regulators, any of them could go in. Now, if you come back to the first blank, the idea that we get is that these promotional messages are not required. right? So not required would be unsolicited. It would not be informative and educational. Now inescapable could be, but we will not go with advertisers. So the only option remaining is A. Got it? Anyone still is confused with this? Anyone who is confused can raise your hand. Agrima? All clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Pahi? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let's look at this one. So I'll give you these questions in your worksheet also, so that you can go through them later on if you want to. So, but I chose to solve them in class. They're the latest questions available.
I think it's D.
You think it's C?
D.
Okay.
Oh. The fourth option.
Fourth option. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Hurry up.
Option C.
Option C. Okay, option C. Any other answer? Aditya?
Even I think it's D.
You think it's D, okay. So quick, I haven't got the answers from other people. Adesh?
D.
Sneha, you think it's D, okay. So we have more D's than C. Anybody else with C? Rahul? Rahul, what was your answer?
I said C.
You said C, okay, yeah. Okay, so Rahul, can you tell me why you took C? Did you put the words back into the sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
From the first word itself, classic and action packed could not be the answer, and even classic could not be. Monochrome and silent were the go-to. Barely or poorly, both of them could be the answer.
Okay.
Leading to the misconception, I thought it would not be. Observation would be right, so I went with option C.
You went with option C. Okay. Now we have a lot of people who said D. Aditya, can you explain your answer?
Ma'am, of the four options for the first line, we can eliminate B because action pack doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Are barely preserved? Again, no, because I think it should be a choice between D and A. Either dispassionately means not with eagerness, and poorly preserved, and leading to the conclusion that they were primitive and barely watchable. So this sentence is implying that this approach that the poor preservation has led to a misconception. It is not true. So that's why we can't use conclusion here.
Right. So misconception is correct. Now coming to the monochrome part of it, Rahul, if you see it says visually strong. Yeah, so it has already described the visual part of it. We will not repeat monochrome. We could go with silent rather. So one attribute is already there. What is the other attribute? Silent films of 1920s are dash preserved It could be barely preserved or poorly preserved, but barely would be an ambiguous word. Yeah, they're barely preserved. So what? Now it is leading to something. So for films, you would not say barely preserved, you would go with poorly preserved. And it says leading to the dash that they were primitive and barely watchable. So here we need a contrast, right? That they were primitive, where they actually are not. So we go with misconception. D is the correct answer. Okay, now here we have one with 4 blanks. And this is also a 2022 question. 2022, we had a lot of surprises. Number of questions were more, and they were also more time consuming.
I think it's D.
D. Okay, good. Perhaps it is D. Let's see. Okay, anybody else with the answer?
Ma'am, D.
Okay, so now even if you have 4 blanks, you have to hurry up. You look at the options and figure out which one is the easiest to pick up. So at least you know, these are my options which I can work on. Yes, Neha, did you have the answer?
Wait.
Still wait. Now remember, you cannot take one whole minute for these questions. You have to be able to do them in less than a minute, even if they are 4 blanks. With 1 blank, it would be 30 seconds. 2 blanks, say about 45 seconds. 4 blanks, within a minute, not more. Okay, let's look at the options. Now, if you have read it, it's talking about space flights enable humans to begin explore the solar system and the rest of the what? Now, will you go with configuration? No. Cosmos? Not really. Universe and galaxy could be. To understand the many objects and dash that are better observed from space. What are better observed from space? Are ideologies observed from space? No. Elements could be, but we have already eliminated A. Materials, objects and materials. Material doesn't make sense. So C is absolutely eliminated. So what are we left with? We've eliminated B, not ideologies. We are left with D. Even if we don't go with the other, go to the other options, we are still. Now, if you look at, say you began with the last option, last blank, then to serve the human purpose are elements of space what? We are doing so all these activities are elements of space. Only word that comes in is exploration. So now you are confirmed that A, B, and C can be eliminated, right? So you can begin with any one of the blanks, see which ones can be eliminated, and then go into another blank to confirm your answer. So even if you have 4 blanks, you see it is not very difficult. Okay, number 11.
think it's B.
Hmm? B. Okay. Hmm. So I've got only one person with the answer. What about the others? If you're not sure about one blank, move on the other, eliminate. Agrima? Aditya, did you get it?
Ma'am, actually, I have seen the answer key to this paper.
Okay, you anyway, you work on your reasoning.
So I know all the answers, so I don't.
Okay, you know all the answers by heart. Okay, maybe you can give an explanation. Yeah. Okay, so Rahul, do you have the answer?
Ma'am, it's either B or A.
Either B or A. Okay. Adesh,
I guess A.
Pahi, you think it's A. Okay. Anybody else?
Ma'am, even I'm confused.
You're confused between A and B.
Yeah,
Okay. So, okay, now let's analyze. Adesh, I didn't get any answer from you.
I think it's B. It's B.
It's B. Okay, let's see what it is. So, Aditya, could you explain to us
Yes, ma'am.
whether it would be A or B?
Answer is B.
Hmm.
I know that all of the four options seem very similar to each other because even I marked it to be A first.
Hmm.
But I think the logic behind here is the key is information. So when you say insider information, it means somebody who is working within the company. It's a phrase actually, insider information.
Yeah, insider information is a phrase.
And then again, profit illicitly means unlawfully. Then discovered or alleged or accused, any of the, even C can be, but the key is I think in the word information.
Okay, so the investigators have dash that. Now, would you say discovered that he leaked confidential information, or alleged would be a better word, right?
Even
Now,
accused can be
accused could also be. Now, important, confidential, important. You won't say confidential, important information, right? That doesn't go together. Now, thereby allowing associates to profit enormously could be. Now, we have eliminated C because important, we said no. Now, let's look at D, announced. The investors have announced. They don't announce that he had leaked the confidential papers. They would have doubted, right? Or they would have investigated. So D doesn't make sense. Confidential financial information, insider information would be better, and treacherously doesn't go anyway with the last blank. Yeah. So C and D eliminated. Now between A and B, discovered or alleged, internal or insider. Yeah. It could be enormously or illicitly, both can go. Now, internal information, we don't say internal information, as Aditya said, insider information is a term used. Right? When you're talking about companies, it is insider information. B is your answer. Okay, now let's look at this one. Number 12. It seems to be 3 sentences with 3 blanks. Yes, anybody with the answer? Okay, Aditya, maybe you could explain later.
Okay, ma'am.
You remember the answer?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Okay. Rahul, do you have the answer?
A few seconds, ma'am.
Okay, Satvika, what's your answer?
I'm confused between C and D, but I'm leaning towards D.
Leaning towards D. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Even I thought it was D.
Yeah,
Rahul
D.
says D. Okay, Pahi, you also
I
think
guess it's D. Yes.
you think it's D. Okay. Agrima,
Just a second.
Adesh, have you come up with the answer?
D.
Hmm?
D.
D or B?
For dog.
D for dog. Okay. So I think most of you are thinking D. Some are confused between C and D. Okay, so who's going to explain? Satvika, maybe you could explain.
Yeah. If we look at the options, based on the last blank, I think partial and somewhat don't really present a good structure to the paragraph. So that is where I eliminated A and B.
Okay.
The issue I faced is that I did not know whether to use gain or suffering. But in the first blank, an anthropocentric worldview is what I think is better, because there is no such thing as a universe that is anthropocentric right now. You just believe it to be a construct, as its option is our worldview.
Right.
And that is where I went with.
Okay. So you eliminated A and B. In C, universe doesn't fit in. So you go with D. As simple as that. So it may seem complicated, but if you break it down, it's no more complicated. Even if you look at the first blank, it wouldn't be in a dash. So animals are this. So whatever is happening, it's not happening in a belief or construct. So A and B can be eliminated even with the first blank. Okay. So we'll do maybe one or two more. We still have a little time. Okay, question number 13. You have 3 blanks.
I think it's B.
You think it's B? Okay.
No, actually, C. I don't think fragile fits.
Okay. You think it's C?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Go back to the now forget about the first blank. Go back to the other blanks and see if your options fit.
For the second blank, I'd say that fascinating fits better. But yeah.
It's option B, ma'am, because the coral reefs are very fragile.
Yeah, they are fragile. Now, what about the last blank? Prolific or exuberant?
I think because the second blank could not be strange, because it is speaking in a manner of like strange is used for oddness, and it is not here oddness.
Yeah,
it's about a fact.
Odd. How to clear and thus poor nutrient water supports such dash and productive community. So this is a paradox, which is something that you want to know more about, right? So it could be fascinating, not strange. And if you look at prolific and exuberant, prolific refers to the productivity or fertility when we talk about something alive, or mostly related to plants. So the prolific would relate to plants, not exuberant. Yeah, anyway, we didn't go with strain. So B is your correct answer. Right? Okay. Now we have one more over here.
Option B.
Option B. Okay. Let's see. Now, if you look at the words, they're words simple words mostly, you know
Yes,
them.
ma'am. B.
Hmm?
B.
B. So what is the thought process that links the two sentences? Who hasn't explained as yet? Okay, Pahi, do you have your answer? Yes, Pahi.
Just a second.
Rahul, you can't be taking so long.
Ma'am, I said B.
Okay, you said B. Good.
Yeah.
Agrima? Agrima, are you there?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
What's your answer?
I think B as well.
You think
Yes,
B as
ma'am.
well? Okay.
Even I think it's B.
Okay, so yes, the answer is B. You are correct. Now, Agrima, can you explain why B? What is the
Yes, ma'am.
what is the idea? First thing you tell me, what is the idea that you get in the two sentences?
That it's opportunity to, like, as the word says, privilege to live in a land without any war or hate, and that even in
So
this
here
age, the 21st century.
you need a negative word over here because that relates to what comes in later. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are millions of people who live in war zones where life. So life is filled with what in war zones?
Negative
It's not
word.
adventures. Yeah. Not episodes. It could be agony or terror. Yeah. But when we are talking about the first blank, it is a privilege. So we have a positive word over here. Right? Can you people hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now we eliminated A, we eliminated C, right? Now it couldn't be punishment. It would only be privilege, which is B. Now we didn't even have to go into the second blank, right? You don't really have to go into all the blanks that are given to you. Even if one or two of the blanks can give you the answer, right? Say you don't know the meaning of a word in the second blank. It's okay as long as you've got your answer with the help of the other blanks, right? So now I'll share with you some worksheets. Some questions which we have done will also be in your worksheets, so you can revise later. You can go through the structure of the questions and you can do the other questions which you haven't done in class, right? And remember, so how much time would you take per question in the sentence completion ones? How long have you been taking? About a minute or more? Agrima, how long did you take in these questions?
About a minute, less than a minute, and if some difficult, then a little bit over, but yeah, about a minute.
Yeah. So now what will you do? You will work on your speed. Yeah. So you know the strategy. Look at the blanks. The easiest one, eliminate the ones which are not the answer. So you have to first figure out whether you need a positive word or negative word. Look at the connotations. You don't even need to know the meaning of each and every word. You just have to get the idea, the relation between the ideas that are in the two sentences or even within a sentence, and go with the process of elimination, right? So any doubts from today's session? So now your difficulty level is a little more than the sentence correction ones. That's why I told you that sentence correction is the easiest of all the questions. So sentence correction, you just have to remember your your grammar rules and figure out what is correct and what is not correct. Or you could do sentence improvement based on your grammar rules. Now these take a little more time because these are more analytical, but if you work on your strategies and your speed, you will get all of them correct, right? So any questions as of now? Satvika, Adesh, Adesh, where are you? Can I see you? Yes, thank you. Adesh, any doubts? No? No one has any doubts? So do you want to continue with practice on these questions tomorrow? More of such questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah? Okay. And tomorrow we'll also go on to another type of question that could come in, that is the closed passage. There's an which would be more than 4 blanks. Yeah. So mostly in IIM Rohtak, IPMAT Indore, you would be getting questions with 3 to 4 blanks or 2 blanks, not more than that. But in some of the exams like symbiosis or maybe others, you will get an entire passage with blanks. And now that the entire passage, all the blanks will not be 1 mark. Each blank would be 1 mark. So we will try to do that. Okay. So what's the time? 12:06. Okay then. Thank you very much. I'll take leave from you. And I think your next session will be coming up. Right? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
फाइल क्लियर है?
Yes.